So today our saga of wiring untangle continues. Nothing super exciting. I'm just continuing to sort of finish untangling everything, sorting it out. I forgot to bring my zip ties, which I probably should have done to get these organized, but for now we'll just finish untangling everything, get it labeled and understood, and yeah. Okay, so I think we are done with our untangling. I know it still looks like a little bit of a mess, but most of these wires are laying on top of each other, not actually overlapping. So when I go to wire it up, I can zip tie it up and make it look pretty. We have, if you look here, all of the wires we removed, and yeah, now it's time to put it in. That'll be for another day. Alrighty, well, catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Decided to do a little bit more digging, and yes, I am fairly certain to operate this you actually need a control cable of some kind. However, I do have a brain, so I'm going to see if I can create one, because these, and I'll show it on screen now, these are about $1,000 to $1,500 if they even exist. They're not produced anymore. But luckily, from my understanding, the pinout on this top pin is the control signal, the middle pin is ground, and the bottom signal is the auxiliary signal. So, you know, the auxiliary signal is probably something really complicated that lets you do like a bunch of different stuff. But I'm fairly certain if I can get a foot pedal and make it a momentary switch, if I can just short out, well, not short, ground the top pin to the middle pin, we should be able to get this to actually actuate, because that's what actually connects the circuits together, that lets the current flow. And we're not going to get any, I think, of the fancy auxiliary features with this bottom thing, but I'm fairly certain I can get this to run if I can create my own foot pedal. So I ordered the part for that. We're going to try again on another day to see if we can operate this after I've created a foot pedal. But I'll show you guys what the foot pedal looks like, and hopefully when we give it a go, we can see if it works. And yeah, I'll just give that a go, and I'll report back to you guys. But I really wish we could have done the inspection today. I'm going to probably just leave this as is, hope it doesn't rust at all while I'm gone. But yeah, we'll pick up this inspection another day. So I got all my materials. to make the connector for this thing and the foot pedal. So let's go ahead and I want to figure out what might be a good crimp size to get something that'll fit nicely in here. So we're not just having it stick wires in there. Technically probably would still work. Okay, so I got the connector made. This is just going to connect into there. And then we're gonna wire up the pedal now. So I got this wired up. Ground connects to the normally open pin. Positive voltage connects to the COM pin. When you press on this switch, it shorts the two together, which is what we want. Let's just plug it in now, see if it works. Okay, so I think I got this somewhat figured out. I actually wired up 3 connections here. And initially I thought, okay, the top pin needs to be grounded to the middle one, or the middle one needs to be grounded to the bottom one. So in this case, I actually wired up the top pin to the bottom pin here, but it didn't actually do anything. But now, when I turn it on, you see I get magnetizing amperes. Well, that means actually we don't need to ground the middle. We need to ground the top and bottom pin together. So I'm just gonna fix the wiring so the switch actually does what it's supposed to. And yeah, I'm really happy that I could get this working without spending $1,000 on a switch. So here's the final setup in the switch. The ground pin just gets grounded to the chassis so you don't shock yourself. And these top pins are our COM pins, and the middle one is our ground pin. And all we do to get this connected is take our ground pin, put this one in the center, and either of these can go in the top or the bottom. It doesn't particularly matter what order you put it in. Now, if we magnetize this thing, we'll turn it on. You see how our amperes read below? Well, when we tap this pedal, you'll see it go up. Or at least it's supposed to if I wired things correctly. It looks like it's not working now, weirdly enough, even though it's supposed to. Let's double check our things real quick. So I didn't wire something in the switch correctly because we're not getting any continuity here. I only get continuity if I manually touch them together, but I should be getting continuity when I press the switch, so let's take a look at it real quick. Looks like we have a bad crimp or something wrong with the soldering job that I did here. So we'll take a look at that real quick. I'll just test one thing to see what it might be. I think it probably is the soldering job wasn't the best. That's the only thing I can think of, but we'll check. Okay, so it was definitely this little connector that I made. The soldering iron I had, the portable one, just isn't that great, so I really couldn't get a good solder, but this definitely has continuity between this wire and this crimp, so I just have to redo the solder joint here and maybe do it a little bit better. Alright, let's get to it. I decided to do, instead of soldering it, I'll just make this a clearance fit, and yeah, we'll just put the wire in there. Alright, I fixed it so it has continuity, so it should work now. Verify it does indeed work. And that, when we press the foot switch, we get those amperes that we need. You can see a little bit of magnetization here, but let's get testing. Keep the camera a little bit ways away because I don't want magnetism frying the crap out of it. And this powder gets everywhere. Look at this. I'm gonna have to sweep. Anyways, so we have our crank here, and you sprinkle it on while it's magnetizing, and you're looking for cracks that run in this direction because that's the direction we're angling our crankshaft with the current. And then after we check the other side, we're gonna wrap a coil around it and we can check for cracks going this way. So yeah, let's rotate it. Let's take a look at the other side, and yeah. There we have it here, ready to be reassembled. So yeah.